In this video, we are going to go over double variables. Before we jump right in, let's just do a little review on what they are. A double variable is a variable that can only be equal to a mixed decimal, for example, 1.3 or negative 0.5. Now let's jump into how the double variable looks inside of code. Here's an example. Double x is equal to 3.4. So let's take a look at this example and then break down what each part means. The first part, double, is telling the computer that this variable is a double variable and can only be set equal to a mixed decimal. The next part, x in this case, is the name of our variable. Just like with ints, it can be named anything you want as long as it's not a standalone number. Here we have our equal sign, which sets our variable equal to a certain value. After this, we have the actual value that our double is equal to. In this case, it's 3.4. And then following this, we have a semicolon, which tells the computer that this is the end of our line of code. Now we are going to get into creating our own double variable. So make sure you get your REPL ready and then follow along. All right, so now we're going to learn how to create our own double variable. I created a new REPL called 3.3 creating double variable. So make sure you guys create your REPL and then follow along. So let's say I want to make a double variable called GPA and I want to set it equal to 3.5. We would first have to write double, which tells us or tells the computer the type of variable this is, the name of it, which is GPA, and we're setting it equal to 3.5. Remember to always add your semicolon at the end because that tells the computer this is the end of your line of code. Now let's say I wanted to create another double variable called, temperature, like the temperature outside, and I want to set it equal to 74.35. We're going to write double and then temperature is equal to 73 point, I believe I said 35, semicolon. Now lastly, let's say I want to create a double variable called length, and I want to set that equal to 0.45. I'm going to do double length is equal to 0.45. Now, doubles can also have a negative value. For example, I could set the temperature equal to negative 73.35, and that would be totally fine. So this is how you guys are going to create double variables inside of your code. Next, we're going to talk about printing double variables to the screen. So now if we want to print a double to the screen, we do it the exact same way that we print an int to the screen. All we write is just our print statement, so system.out.println, parentheses, semicolon, and inside of a parentheses, all you're going to do is type the exact name of your variable. So for example, if I wanted to print the value of the variable GPA, I'd type in GPA inside of our print statement. And then once I run my code, I'm going to get 3.5 out here. And as you can see up here, 3.5 is equal to GPA. Now, what if I were to change this to 3.8? Well, just like inside of our int episode, the computer is going to print 3.8. Because within our print statement, we're basically telling the computer, all right, computer, print whatever value GPA is equal to. And no matter how much this changes, as long as this is a mixed decimal, then the computer will print it and there'll be no errors. Now, another thing is that we can also add these variables together. So for example, I could take the GPA value and I can add it to the temperature. I could also subtract them, multiply them, stuff like that. So how about I try multiplying these this time? So I'm going to take GPA and multiply it by temperature. Now, let's see what we get. So in this case, as you could see, we get negative 278.729 basically repeating. So sometimes the computer has a little hard time multiplying these two things, and it has to round. So even though when we multiply these two things together, we're not going to actually end up with this amount of numbers after our decimal point, this is just how the computer does its rounding. So this is how you guys print double variables to the screen, as well as how to combine them and do some mathematical operations inside of the parentheses. To conclude this video, we're just going to go over some review questions, so make sure you have a new Rappel out so that you can write down the answers. Number 1, create a double variable called hours left and set it equal to 4.5. Pause the video really quick and do this in Rappel. So to create our double variable called hours left set equal to 4.5, we're going to write double hours left equals 4.5. So here we have the type of variable this is. So this is a double. Right here is our name, equals sign, and then the value that it is equal to. Question 2, using your answer to the previous question, print the value of hours left to the screen. So we're using the code from our previous question. Pause the video and then fill this out in Rappel. So if we want to print the value of hours left to the screen, we're going to have to use a print statement. So you can either use system.out.print, or you can use system.out.println. Both will get you the same outcome. Now, if we want to print out the value of hours left, we're just going to type in the name of this variable directly into our print statement. Now, once we do this and then we run our code, whatever hours left is equal to should be printed to the screen. So in this case, it's 4.5. All right, last question. Using a print statement, add 3.5 to the value of hours left and print the result to the screen. So we're adding the 3.5 inside of the print statement parentheses. Pause the video and do this in Rappel. Okay, guys, so this is the code from the last question. Now, all it said is that we have to add 3.5 to the variable of hours left within our print statement. So here, we're already halfway done. We have hours left inside of our print statement. Now what we're going to do is just going to do plus 3.5. All right, now remember, just like with ints, we can do this because hours left is technically a number. It's a double. Hours left is equal to 4.5. So inside the set of parentheses, hours left plus 3.5 is the same thing as saying 4.5 plus 3.5. So if we were to run our code, we should get the number 8 as an answer. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. And if you would like to continue to learn how to code in Java, click subscribe. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time.